want you to know that you never know who you might encounter when you come to an LMC solo session. So you should always be present and accounted for, and always be open-minded and engaging. And so I want to, as I told him earlier, I'm gonna throw him a lob and I want him to dunk it. And then he told me his old knees would dunk it. His current knees are only gonna catch it and lay it in. But he has a wonderful resume from high school, back in Philly, from college at the University of North Carolina, into the NBA, Trailblazers, the world champion Detroit Pistons. We are honored today at the LOC Solo Session to welcome Rasheed Wallace, and I want y'all to give it up as he comes to share some things from his heart.
I'm gonna keep it quick and brief. I was brought here today to touch on a few things, but the main thing to talk about is legacy. Each and every person in here, we are living legacies now. All our young people, our elders, our teachers, everyone in here, you're living your legacy right now. Legacy is one of the most important things that can happen for you and your family, because you have to live, you have to prepare yourself, not only for you living at the moment, but your children. You know, when you guys end up having children, and some of our teachers and everything, students, you know, you might have children, but you're living this legacy, okay? So you have to make sure you want to do what? You want to try to set a nice or beautiful example for your children, something that they can live by. You don't want to pass your debt down as your legacy, do you? No. You don't want to pass any type of negative notations about your family down or anything of that. No, everyone here, you want your name, you want your family, you want your legacy to shine. So dealing with that word legacy, things are being passed down generation to generation. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a material thing, okay? It could be, you know, something mental, something that you see your grandmother or grandfather doing on the daily that helps out the family. Something that you see in your mom or your dad, your aunties and your uncles doing to help out this family is helping you with your legacy. Put your name out there. Be that good student. Freshmen, you guys are right now in the middle of the legacy slate, as I like to say. Because in high school, okay, we got a lot of athletes, student athletes in here, and we have a lot of brainiacs in here. So in your high school time, you left your legacy. No matter if it was basketball, football, track, whatever sport it was, no matter if it was you were the president of the chess club, the glee club, you know, you were an honor roll student for all years of your high school. You left your legacy there at your high school. So now with you going to college, maybe some of the breaks you guys get to go home, Christmas break or Thanksgiving, whatever, and you go visit your school, you go visit your coach. And what's the first thing you do? You walking through the halls, and how are you feeling? Like, oh man, I remember Miss Johnson's room, and you know, we did this or that. Or you're walking by the trophy case, and oh man, I remember this tournament right here. You know, we had to go to the foul line and hit these last 2 key shots. I remember. You feel that proudness. You feel that great accomplishment as you're walking through them halls. Well, that's life. Okay? So now here you are. Young ladies and young men, you're now in college. You're a freshman in college. We have some upperclassmen in here. It's a little bit more important for you to continue your legacy because you started it here already. So now you have the lower class students here. So be positive to them and for them. They might come and ask you questions later on throughout the year or whatever. Be there for them because someone was there for you to help you continue your legacy. So the freshmen, with your legacy, be that best student that you can be. Okay, that's first, because we all, as a few student athletes in here, we all love to play our respective sport, but you can't play it if your grades are messed up. Okay, that's number one, first and foremost. Take all the help you can. We have a lot of positive brothers and sisters here on this campus who want to see you succeed, who want to see you strive with your legacy in your family, in your home. Okay, so take that time to, hey, don't be scared to ask that teacher, to ask your professor for a couple extra minutes after class if you have that question. All you're doing is continuing your legacy because we all have to do it. And as I said, with me, I'm 50 years old, right? And I'm still writing my legacy. Yes, one part of my life is over. I was a high school All-American. All 4 years of my high school career, I was All-City or, McDonald's All-American. I won 2 national championships, 2 city championships. Ended up going to the University of North Carolina. And with that right there, with my high school, they were winning championships before I got there. So that legacy pressure was on me. Yeah, I didn't think I was that good. There was a lot of people around me said I was, but I had to continue that legacy, and I did that. So now, on to college, same thing. I'm going to the University of North Carolina, and my freshman year, we are defending national champions. So if that's not pressure, I don't know what is when you're dealing with most sports. So that didn't work out for me as far as winning a championship, but I left my legacy there. I left something there that they will remember me by. And moving on to the NBA, I played 16 years in the NBA and 1 year of coaching. So 17 years total. I was fortunate enough to go to the NBA Finals 3 times. I came up short twice, and I was able to win one with the 2004 Detroit Pistons. Woo! That right there. That right there stamped my legacy with basketball. That right there stamped my legacy in the city of Detroit. Today, in the city of Detroit, if myself or any of my former teammates walk in the streets or go into any type of establishment, we very rarely pay for a meal or like a drink, something like that, but nothing too strenuous. But it's that legacy that we set. Here it is. We won it 21 years ago. 21 years ago, that's longer than some of you guys were born, but 21 years ago. But we left that positive legacy not only for ourselves and our children, but for the city of Detroit. So now for me, with me being retired from basketball, my main thing I'm into is coaching. I love coaching. I love teaching kids to play this sport. I do a lot of Nike camps across the country. So I'm giving back. That's my way of giving back. That's my way of continuing my legacy. And I'm not doing it for money. It's not about a money thing. It's me giving that knowledge. That knowledge to me is more richer than money. Money is only paper. If I pull out a dollar bill right now, it's worth $1. But if I put a lighter to it and burn it up, it's worth nothing. But if I give you a little bit of knowledge about something, that's something that you can take on and on. Okay? So that's all part of your legacy. Then with your legacy, you don't want to do nothing to tarnish your family name. You don't want to do nothing to tarnish your image. Speaking from experience, it happened to me before. I got caught up something, me and a former teammate of mine, we got caught up with the police, and there was a little marijuana involved and this and that, and here I am, I'm younger, so I'm like, man, it wasn't nothing, it was just a routine traffic stop. We didn't even get a ticket, it was nothing. I go home, go to sleep. I wake up the next morning, at the time I'm married, my wife is hitting me. Oh, wake up, what did you do? What did you do? I'm like, what are you talking about? And she clicked on the news, and here it is, me and my teammate, we're on there, stop, drug possession, this and that, Rasheed Wallace, blase. And so, for me, I'm like, oh man, it wasn't nothing, but she clicked the light on for me. She said, it's not about you. She said, your kids gotta go to school. Your kids go to school right around the corner. So, how their teachers gonna look at them? How their peers are going to look at them. There's kids that's going to say, oh, your dad's a pothead, and tease my kids. So here I am. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about that part of my legacy. And so that's where I started to clean my act up. So now it's one thing on the court. Yeah, I'm fierce on the court. I don't take no stuff and play with a little attitude, but that's different. Off of the court, no, I can't be like that because that's not good for my legacy. So with my legacy, continue to do prideful things, continue to strive forward. As of now, I'm trying to set my legacy for my kids. Basketball-wise, I've set it for a lot of the young fellas that I teach. But a life lesson for me and my kids, I'm setting things up now. I have a few businesses I'm setting up now. I have 4 kids, so my thing is to set up 4 businesses for them. Something where, no, it's not too complicated, but something that they can run. And that's what's going to continue this family legacy. That's what's going to continue these things for me. you know, my nieces, my nephews, my family. I have my cousin Moses over here. He's helping me continue the legacy by getting a lot of these things that I wouldn't even have thought about, that he came to me with, getting things on film, but it's making it easier to report that legacy. Be that star. Be that star for your legacy.
Yeah.
Be that star for your family.
Yeah.
Be that star for positive things for your community. That's how you continue your legacy. Help out in your community. Open the door. It starts with small things. Open the door for our elderly. Keep the block clean, things like that, and you will have that pride to continue that legacy. You never know. Hey, you can win the 2025 Cleanest Block in Memphis Award or something like that. But guess what? That's going to be your block's legacy. That's next year. Oh man, y'all not going to beat us, whatever. That's when you're going to take it to that point. You're going to take it personal. Take it personal. It's your legacy. You're the star. You got to be the star with your legacy. I thank you, Pastor. Thank you for having me this morning. Coach Anderson, appreciate you for bringing me in and talking to everyone here. And hey, any questions? And I love y'all. I'm here for y'all.
Come on, y'all stand to your feet. Y'all give it up for Rasheed Wallace. Come on. Y'all give it up one more time for Clinton Jackson. All right, you may be seated. You may be seated. You may be seated. Here's what I would want y'all to do as we transition